Guys, thank you for staying tuned. We have a guest today here, Frank Parillo. Frank, so much. Thank you
You're
for
welcome. Thanks
being
for
here
having me.
today.
Yes, sir.
So, Frank, talk to us. You have so much going on right now.
So much going on. I know I heard you guys earlier talking about the IMTA, and I wrote 33 scripts for individual persons for that,
Yes.
so everybody could shine in their own light without having to try to go up against somebody else on that same script. Because IMTA, everybody's
Yep.
going to grab the same scripts off the internet, and that's what that's going to be about. But we wanted to do it a little bit different. We wanted everybody to have their unique and own story to tell.
Do you know, I've been with IMTA since 1989, and never has a group had their monologues written by their coach before. So I think this might be never. So this is
specifically for
for
them.
them.
Yes.
Which-
You were one of them. Yeah.
I
Yes.
am. I know.
Yes.
That's why I'm like super excited to have you on today.
So,
great.
so tell me about that, Frank. That one is just that's a lot of work. I know that. How do you do that? You meet with the person, or you get to know them a little bit, and how does it come to you? I can pull this out of this person. Like, how does it work when you're building this monologue?
Well, first of all, like you said, I got to get to know the person a little
Sure.
bit. And if I get to see them act, that's even better.
Okay.
But the really good thing is just to kind of get a feel of where they're at. So you can tell if they have a real comic kind of side to them.
Sure.
You want to write something that's a little bit more funny. If they're a little bit more serious, you feel they can pull off serious material a little bit better. You go that way a little bit direction. But there's a lot of things. The business is full of what would you be good for? What would you be hired for?
Sure.
So just looking at it from that perspective,
Yeah.
write the monologue for what makes them successful.
Sure. Well, sure. And these kids love Frank Parillo at DreamTraxx Academy. If you guys are looking, especially if you're new, come and take classes. There are beginner level classes up to extreme level classes. He's just a fantastic coach. I mean,
Thank you.
yeah, these guys love you. You're tough though. You have a reputation. Tell me about that. You're a little hard on these guys. Is some people? It's a little hard.
100%.
No. I mean, there's no sugarcoating it.
Yeah.
I'm hard on
Uh-huh.
people. But I think you were saying earlier about how your coaches could get in your face, and the people who want you to succeed are going to be those people who want you to pull out your best.
Yes.
Anybody who's just going to settle for your worst or whatever,
Yeah.
or you're mediocre, then they're not really having your best interest in mind anyway.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I can actually get in your face. I can,
Yeah.
not in an aggressive, mean kind of way. Sometimes, but
No. No, it's not mean.
but the beauty is, I don't think I've ever had an opportunity where I've actually got that with somebody, and they can no longer focus on themselves. They can no longer be in their heads. They have to give you that character because you're right there. They cannot go in their heads.
Yeah.
And so what happens is they inevitably let go and just allow the character to flow. And it's it often brings me to tears. I mean, because it is such a beautiful thing to see somebody struggling the way they do, and all of a sudden the character just flows.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's very refreshing also to see a teacher or someone like yourself, very like highly renowned, be able to care so much.
Mm-hmm.
'Cause I feel like it's not, you don't see it often.
No.
You don't see it a lot, if you see it ever. And you really do. You care a lot, and you really put in the hours, the work, just as much as your students, if not even more.
Yeah.
And it's honestly like really refreshing to see that.
Frank and I have been colleagues for a second now, and one thing I've noticed, when people start our school, some of them come to us with the absolute most raw talent, where it's like, whoa, this person is so talented. And then sometimes we get people that are just want to do this, but I don't know anything about this and I want to get started. And the great thing about Frank, he puts 100% effort into every person. Whether in my head, I'm like, I don't know if that's going to work for that person. It may not be right for this. I'm like, Frank. And he's like, no, we're going to try. We're going to do this. 6 months later, they're pulling stuff out of a kid that you didn't even think. I mean,
Yeah.
and I know it's like never, I guess the thing is he doesn't judge. He would never prejudge a person. He'd say, what can I pull out of this human being? And for me, I think that is really cool. That is really, really cool. Especially what we're doing with IMTA right now. And I said this a little bit earlier when Tristan and I were talking. It's really nice to start watching. We have 2 months now until we go. It's really nice to start watching them like blossom into and get these monologues down. And like, it's like, whoa, I knew they were good. They're always good. So I'm not saying that they were, but to watch them now is like, whoa, they're getting there, and they're, we have a shot.
Yeah.
We have a shot to pull #1 actor.
Well, we at DreamTraxx really believe that we've got to be just as committed to our students as we expect our students to be committed to not only us as a school, but the craft that they're saying they want to do.
Yeah.
And that's really super important. We love our students. We really love you guys. You know that, and we find a nice relationship with you guys, and then we work really hard. And sometimes that doesn't mean you go away happy. Sometimes
100%.
yeah, you're gonna go home feeling like you could have done better. But I think that's just the business. I don't think everybody is good at what they're doing every day because you can't always be in that. And I think that's really important for people to understand is that you can start to get better and still make mistakes.
Yes.
I was taking back to tennis. First start tennis and you're hitting the ball in the net. You're not judging yourself too much.
Yeah.
And you get the balls over the net a little bit more often, and then all of a sudden you're getting the balls over quite often. And then every time you hit the net after that, it's like you should never hit the net. But that's not how life works.
Yeah.
And even the pros hit the ball into the net.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
And so it's like Gina was saying, it really is a journey that you have to take. And it's a journey that has multiple destinations, but never has a final destination. He's so right about that. And, part of the journey is hearing the no's.
Yeah.
Getting out there and auditioning and knowing for a while people are just going to say no. But somebody out there someday will say yes if you stay at it.
I have a question for you. You've done so much in the industry. I mean, productions, he has a couple of his own movies. I mean, he owns the school, he teaches, his hands are in everything, teaching this select group for IMTA. How do you stay just frank and so humble? These kids love you. Every day you're just frank. People hear your name and do the research and they realize the magnitude of who you are. But how do you just stay so humble?
Well, I don't think there's much magnitude. I'm just another person like everybody else.
You've achieved a lot in this industry.
I've done some wonderful things.
Yes.
And I enjoyed that I did all those wonderful things. But I'm not done yet. And all my students are little pieces that I can continue to add to my resume, seeing them be successful. And then they come back to the school and they give back to the students. And
that was one of my questions for you, letting them go. So you're working with this person and they're doing great and you build them and you watch them grow and then you give them and they do a movie and you've had a lot of these and they come back to you. Losing them for you is not losing them. It's more like they were butterflies, you let them go, they come back. How rewarding is that feeling to have them like very successful and that has a lot to do with your input?
That's the best part of it.
So that's the rewarding part.
That's the reward that I get.
Yeah.
But we have a team of people, this, Natalie, you.
Absolutely.
Natalie,
Stout,
staff, are all people that share the same, they share the same vision for people,
Sure.
And everybody does their part and brings it together.
Yeah.
So, I appreciate the compliments and everything, but it's always a team effort. No one person can do anything themselves. So we all work together. And I think DreamTraxx has gotten to a place where it's just a beautifully oiled working machine. And we always tell people the truth. We don't come in. We don't come in, oh, hey, you're going to be a star. Give it a couple of weeks. We don't ever do that. Hey, we're telling you the truth. This is a journey, 3 to 5 years. Understand what you're getting into before you lay a 1 penny down to do this. And even before that, we say, hey, listen, if you still want to do that, come in for a free class.
I love what you tell everyone, that this is like the hardest thing they're ever going to do. I love that because it's so true. And for people like me who don't act, it is probably, if I attempted to do it, it would be one of the hardest things. So I like how you warn everybody. You're very upfront with everyone and you let them know if you're committed to this right now, but if you're not, we're not keeping you here. You come here because you want to be here and help them grow.
Right.
And that's just awesome.
No, it's the best thing is to have them come back.
Yeah.
When they come back, that's the most heartfelt thing.
Yeah.
And then, also we have things like Gino come in. We have other people come in from the industry and they talk. And last year we had several big industry people zoom in with our students and they got to ask very solid questions about the industry, making industry, and finding out, these are just people too. These are people who have a job to do and you want to be somebody who works with them eventually,
Sure.
and they're saying, hey, always be, the positive person. Always be the guy that's humble. Always be the girl that's humble. And
That's
people,
hard to find though in this industry, Frank. I've been in the business a long time, and it's hard to find those really truly humble people, especially when you get to certain levels. So I thank you for being as humble as you are to our students and to everybody out there. Yeah.
well, thank you.
Yeah.
I was gonna say it's also like with going to DreamTraxx and stuff, it's very community.
Yeah.
Like it's not isolated.
Yeah.
Like I feel like a lot of classes are a lot of like places you would go to like practice, and it's not very like you're very hands on. Like you are very hands on with your students, and you're very hands on with screen breakdown or scene breakdowns, and a lot of teachers that I've experienced like learning from don't really help out the students a whole lot.
No, and that's the great thing about DreamTraxx is that we make opportunities like IMTA and getting in front of casting directors.
Our modeling division.
Yeah,
Don't forget our modeling division.
But we do look for opportunities for our students.
Yeah.
We have an audition tomorrow at the school for some of our young people. That somebody called us, hey, I'm looking for this. And now we're holding an audition tomorrow for a feature film that some people get to go to, and it's always what you can do for people. It's not only going to always make you more successful. It's always going to it's going to make you. Sorry, let me back that up. Not always going to make just them be successful. It's always going to be adding to your success. Yeah,
I like that.
Yeah. And I love my students, and I love what we do there. I can be there 12, 13
With
hours
that
a day.
being said, let's tell these guys how to get in touch with you, Frank. So what we're gonna do, Frank, let them know.
Okay, so you can go to our website. It's www.DreamTraxxAcademy.com, and some information there about our class schedule, what the class is about, who teaches there. We've got some videos of people that we've interviewed before. You can call or text 877 acting 4.
Yes, 877 acting 4, guys. Remember that 877 acting 4. If you want my handle as well, I'm located at DreamTraxx, but Dawn Sullivan _ modeling division, IMTA. Tristan, how can we get in touch with you?
Pretty simple.
Call DreamTraxx. He's always there.
Yeah, literally. Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok handle. It's just pretty basic. Tristan Crowley. That's about it.
Frank, I thank you so much for all the doing.
Oh,
I
I
thank you
appreciate
for
you guys having
being
me
here.
here.
Thank you so much. I
Thank you.
appreciate you always.
Thank you.
Sure.
I'll see you.
Yes, you will.
Guys, tune in next week.